Hello, everybody. Back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Thursday, the 24th, and today was a beautiful, gorgeous, sunny, like warm. It started off beautifully cool in the morning, sunny, hot, just everything. Just it was amazing, absolutely amazing day. So, yeah, super great. Went ahead, got up this morning, got a few things taken care of. Nothing real major. We were gonna head over to look at that pinball machine, so we got up earlier than we normally would have on our day off. But got up, got around, got the dog out, all the fun stuff that comes with it, whatnot, whatever. Basically headed out, hopped in the truck. Karen got up. She got around actually surprisingly pretty quick. I think she wanted to know what I was going to go try and buy. For one thing, she was excited to see what I was trying to get, and two, she wanted to go and see her aunt, kind of thing. So we got everything packed up, got in the truck, threw my tarps in there and stuff, and got the dog in there, headed out, and got to the location, talked to my guy, Kurt, that does my pinball, knows all about the pinball machines and stuff. Talked to him a little bit on the phone, basically headed over, and he said, hey, I'm close, I'm heading that way too, it's all cool. Talked to the guy who has the pinball machine. I said, hey man, we'll be here, whatever. And he goes, yeah, he goes, okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And 18 minutes later, he shows up, which is superbly goddamn annoying. So we get there. Kurt and I are talking. Kurt shows up a few minutes after I do. We chat, and Karen's in the truck, and she's like, "What are you doing? Go look what you're doing." So I'm like, "Oh no, this ain't the guy. Like we're waiting for the guy. Like this is a buddy of mine that I met here. He's kind of here to help me." She's like, she has no idea what's going on. She goes, "How do you know this guy?" And I'm like, "Met him online, like looking for stuff. It don't matter." So we get back there, and she kind of knows what we're getting. Once we get back there and stuff, she hears. I thought telling her to turn the stereo up full blast, but I thought she'll see it as soon as she gets there. So went ahead, basically when they're looking at it, we got about tables in the way and stuff. We get back in there, we get it figured out. Kurt's looking around, he's like, man, because this is a termite machine, which we think it is the one from DeLand that he saw years ago that had all the termite damage and stuff, which still tells you it wasn't that big a deal because it's still standing. He looked at like 10 years ago. So it isn't the end of the world, but you just don't know. And the thing's been in that storage unit supposedly for 3 months, and there's no real residue on the bottom. In a bar in a house, you wouldn't notice necessarily the sawdust falling from the termites, because the fact that, like, guess what? You sweep it up. You move it around as you walk around, it kicks around and stuff. No big deal. But when you set in a building for 3 months, most likely there would have been like piles of termite damage if there were still termites active in there, and there's not. So, but you still got to fumigate. You can't bring it into your house. You got to fumigate it, or you got to find it and submit the big giant walk-in freezer. You can store it in there for a few days, and that's not the nicest thing on a machine either. Sitting around frozen cold for a week, on all the parts and the tools. And then when you pull the connectors out, you have condensation, you got issues and stuff. There's a lot of things involved. It's not necessarily the best part. Plus the skins are laminating off. There's a big holes in the plywood and the sides and stuff. It's not pretty by any means. So a guy could come in, bondo it up and reskin it and da. But now you're $1,500 minimum into just the casing, not kind of thing else, and a machine's worth $600-800. Like, it's not worth a lot. They're worth $1,000 maybe, whatever. So yeah, it is what it is. Pinball machines have actually went up in value. He said in the last couple of years, like they went ridiculous. Some of them, a lot of them have doubled in value. And his old book, actually, he's using like a 2-year-old book and stuff that nobody pays attention if you're not into pinballs. So you can kind of think, hey, it's a 2-year-old book, but the new book says it's worth like almost twice. So, but that's in perfect playing condition. They were asking perfect playing condition, and this thing was not. The paint and the glass in the back was just complete trash. Like it was just, oh my god, it was awful. Probably one of the worst ones I've seen. It was horrible. And the one thing it did have going for it had the coin mix, which is in the end of the world. But even the top like play face, when we lifted it up, like there was termites in there because it was wobbly. Like mine's like solid. You lift it up, it's solid. This thing like wanted to droop down and stuff. It was not good. So I basically talked. He climbed all around, pulled the glass out, looked at everything and stuff and whatnot. We kind of chatted. Actually showed the guy. He learned how to open the machine up. He didn't no idea how that stuff even worked. So we kind of had a good laugh about that. The guy's learning stuff on how to take care of this thing, how to even pull it apart. So went ahead and he said, I guess I'd stay away from 100%. He goes, I wouldn't give. He goes, it's a $50 machine to me. He goes, it needs so much work and it's going to cost more than what it's worth when it's done. He goes, to me it's worthless, kind of thing, and whatever. And I was thinking, because originally he thought it was only worth $500, even in playable condition, in good shape, not termite infested. So you add the termites, stuff just becomes a problem. So the guy had a really cool old Edison light, bulb looking round fixture thing. I was like, hey, you want to sell a light? And he goes, yeah, whatever. So I gave him $10 for the light. So told my wife, I said, hey, you didn't get a pinball machine, but you got this cool funky light. So bought her a light for Christmas instead. So not quite what she wants, I don't think, but we'll see what happens here. So got done with it. We backed out, talked to Kurt, said, hey man, appreciate all your help, thanks for showing up, yada yada yada. So we're all good. So basically he headed on out home. As we were chatting and stuff, we headed over to her aunt's house. While we were at her aunt's house, I got a call from my real estate agent. We got a house to look at today. Says she's got to cancel on us today to look at the house because she has a leak in her sink or some crap and whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever, no big deal. So we continue having the Christmas with our aunt, and uncle was basically sitting around the house talking. Went around the backyard with the dog and stuff. Played, we hang out there a little over an hour. Gave him our Christmas presents. She gave us our Christmas presents, and just hung out and just chatted. Hadn't seen her for a long time, so it's nice to chat up with her and stuff. And her husband, who had a stroke years ago, it was like super tired in the middle of the day, so he was like asleep most of the time. So it was kind of funny. He'd wake up and tell us some random facts from some trivia book and then fall back asleep. So we had a good laugh with that kind of thing and stuff. Enjoyed ourselves. Headed back home. Talked to Kurt. He's like, "Hey, I got a 1975 Wizard that I'm willing to sell, but it's like $2,200, which is fair market value of this thing. It's in great shape. There's a lot of cool things about it. Same birth year. It's a 4-player. There's some extra cool things that a lot of machines don't have." And I was like, "Oh man, it's probably not my price range." I said, "I don't think I want to do it." I said, and he goes, "I understand it's probably our price range, the budget thing." But we was like, "Okay, cool, whatever, man." We kind of chatted and stuff. And then as I'd head out, I said, "Hey," because I realized it's not that far to kind of run through his place on the way home. I texted him and said, "Hey, do you care if we stop by? Probably won't get the machine, but can we stop by and take a look at it?" And also my wife think, "Hey, maybe I'm picking that one up for her, and then I can swap it out, be like the double thing." So, but it's very expensive, fairly, much more desirable machine than what the regulars are. So went ahead and I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." Didn't hear back from him. By the time I heard from him, I'd already passed him. We were already coming up to like Volusia County Fairgrounds and stuff. And he's like, "Hey man, sorry I missed your message, da da da, but I am here. I was doing such and such with some electrical work, whatever. So, you can come by if you want and look at it." I said, "Hey man, I'd love to. I just already missed it. Plus it's probably on my budget, so really don't need the thing." So we chatted a little bit, Karen and I did, and I was just like, if you want to go get it, go get it. If not, take that money and just throw it in the stock market and see what it does. So I haven't done either one of those two things yet, but we'll see what happens in that process. But I'm hoping she's surprised tomorrow when she gets what she gets. So we'll see what happens with it and the whole fun thing that comes with it. So, yeah, overall, pretty good day. Got back to the house. Could not go do the whole open house, the open house thing. It's viewing, not open house. Just couldn't make it. It's kind of disappointed. Kind of sucked. So we kind of just hum-hawed around. We almost took a nap. We were both tired. We got up early. And we sitting here talking stuff. I said, "Let's go for a Mercer ride." It's gorgeous temperatures in the 70s and stuff. Actually got up into the 80s. I was like, "Let's go for a Mercer ride." So we hopped on the bike, went for a ride. Actually, back first, we got home. She wanted to go to the store to get some stuff she needed to get, and went and bought a pub sub. And while she was doing that, I went to get my run in. So got back, got my shower, got out of the shower just as she was getting back home. So it worked out real well. She actually got the sub toasted, which she said she wasn't going to because I didn't know how I'd be out of the shower. But I was like, "Cool, no big deal." She got it toasted. We're all good to go. She likes them toasted. I'm not so much, but it adds a little different texture to it. It's nice. So we watched another Office. Went ahead, chilled a little bit. I said, "I'm going for Mercer ride. You're welcome to come with me. I'm not going out of town. I'm going to ride around town here. I just want to be out in this gorgeous goddamn weather, and just it's absolutely amazing." So went ahead, hopped on the bike. We just rode around, looked at some houses, just rode down the neighborhoods, and just chilled out and just enjoyed the shit out of the day. Like you couldn't get a more beautiful day and day. Got back here to the house, hung around, said, "Are we eating? Are we not eating? What we doing?" Kind of thing, blah blah. And she goes, "Well, we're going to get my dad to go watch or go look at Christmas lights and stuff." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Has he eaten?" She goes, "No, I told him to go ahead and eat." I said, "Okay." Because I said I didn't know if he was going to offer to buy us a Burger King sandwich or something, type thing for driving up there and taking him all around lights and stuff. And she goes, "No, I told him to go ahead and eat." So we're like, "Okay, cool." So we head up there, we're getting to his place a little past dark, and then she was going to call him before she left, and she didn't. So he was already a little ways out. We were still way a long ways away, but still a little ways out. She called him. He'd fallen asleep, so she had to wake him up. And then she's like, "Hey, go to eat something." He's like, "Well, I don't have time. You kind of just run me by and give me a burger." And she's like, "Yeah, I guess, whatever." So now he's wanting to come by in the car and eat in my car, which I'm like, just look at lights or eat. Like, it's not that, I don't know, it is what it is. So, but I didn't say that. I'm like, "Okay, whatever, she's going to eat in her car. No big deal." But he didn't offer, "Hey, can we take my car and then I'll eat my own damn car," because that doesn't happen. He don't eat in his car. So went ahead, we get there. He's standing in the doorway, looking out the driveway. I don't know if he's waiting for us, we're too late or what. 'Cause we told him exactly what time we're getting there. And I was like, "Okay, whatever." It's kind of weird. Senior stuff. And he wasn't coming out. And I was like, "Okay, what the hell?" So Karen went in to go check on him. "Why aren't you coming out?" And then senior stuff, he went to head out and blah, blah and stuff. And I have no idea what he was thinking. But she's like, "You need your cane." He's like, "Well, it's in the car." And she goes, "We need your can in the house. You need your can time." And he gets butt hurt real easily when somebody tells him he needs something, or he can't drive correctly, or he almost get hit by that car, so he cut people off, or whatever the hell other stuff. And he gets just butt hurt real quick. To the point he left us at a Chinese restaurant in North Carolina one time because he turned in front of a car and almost got Karen killed. And she yelled at him for almost getting her killed, and then he got mad and left this at the restaurant, in North Carolina. So luckily, we were able to stuff ourselves into the back of her aunt's car to get a ride home, because with the wheelchair and everything else and all the stuff she bought today, there was really no room for us to be there. So that's the type of crap it is. So went ahead, went and looked at lights and stuff. We're riding around. He was just kind of in that just grumpy mood from jump. I don't know what it was. He just pissy mood. Could have been he woke up wrong. Could have been who knows what. His sleep cycle's way off and stuff. So we're out riding around looking at lights, and we're kind of driving around different neighborhoods and stuff. And he was saying, "Hang this and that." And he kind of made some remark about, "Oh, all these houses are all ball humbug. There's no lights on. They're all ball humbug." I said, "You mean kind of like our houses are?" And he's like, "What?" I said, "Like our houses. Your house has zero lights on it. Our house has zero lights on it because Karen asked me not to put lights on this year. Like what the hell?" And senior stuff, he's like, "Oh, whoa, whoa, yeah, like exactly." I said, "So why are you?" I was like, "Okay, whatever." And I thought, "Why are you mad at them for not putting up lights when you didn't put up lights?" So I was like, "Okay, we're driving stuff." We end up going to this very nice neighborhood over in Ormond Beach area, very nice neighborhood. And we're finished stuff, and we're driving along. And he's under his breath, he's like, "Damn rich people." I go, "Excuse me, what'd you say?" He's like, "Why'd you say damn rich people?" And he goes, "Oh, it's just words. It don't mean nothing." I said, I'm from the world. I thought words meant stuff. So I was like, "What did the rich people do to you? Like, were you when you were a little orphan boy, did the rich people come by and throw stones at you or something? Like, that made no sense." And he did plumbing. He used to work in these houses and stuff. And then Karen asked, "Did you help building?" He goes, "Not from the ground up, but I did work here and stuff on stuff." And I almost said, "Oh, those damn rich people. I bet they paid you too, didn't they?" So I didn't let it go. I was just like, I'm not gonna push some shit here. And I look back, and he's vaping his medical vape pen thing for marijuana in the back of my damn car. And I was like, dude, I looked at him like, I smell this shit. I'm like, "What? Are you vaping in my car?" He goes, "Oh, it's just vape. You can't smell it." And I'm like, "Well, I noticed it somehow. Like, I smelled the damn things clearly. What the hell?" And he's saying stuff. And he's like, well, I said, "I'd really appreciate if you don't vape in my car. It's not asking that much." I'm like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "Oh," and he's all mad and stuff. And right before that, shortly before that stuff, he starts coughing his ass off. Like, he's literally like coughing all over. So I'm like, "Dude, stop coughing in my car. I don't know what's wrong with you." And seriously, Karen's like, "You all right back there?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, too much medicine and some crap or somebody's medicine. I didn't take his medicine or some crap." I was like, "Okay, whatever." This was before I realized he was vaping in my car. And then we're saying stuff, and he's saying crap, and he starts coughing again. Like, what the hell? I look back and I smelled the vape, and he's vaping in my car, but he's apparently ripping vape hits so hard that he's choking himself to death on this goddamn weed. And I'm like, "Dude, this ain't cool. Like, don't vape in my car." Then he starts vaping. He's like, "Oh, you can't smell it." I'm like, "Well, I clearly smelled it. And I don't care what the rule is. It's my rule. It's my car. Don't smoke in my car. And he's like, "I don't give a damn." And I'm like, "You don't care about what I feel? Like, this ain't cool." So we got a little bit in that whole world of what the hell. And then we're driving around looking at some lights again and stuff and this and that. I look back, and I swear to God, I'm 95% certain he fucking ripped off his vape again. And I almost took it from him. Like, "Give me the goddamn vape. It's going to be that 8-year-old. I'm going to take it away from you like an 8-year-old. And I was like, "What the hell?" And he starts like all like just starts crying and shit about how the whole world sucks and everybody's family's dead and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, "Oh my goddamn, here we go." So he's like, Karen goes, "Do you want to go home?" He goes, "Yeah, just take me home." So we drove his ass back home. Didn't give him a burger or nothing. So he wanted a burger, didn't get him one. So took him back there. Then he was all just mad about shit. I don't know what was up his butt. He was all just bitching and stuff. And I'm like, "Dude, I don't care. If I came to your house, you said, 'Hey, don't wear sunglasses in my house. Don't even bring sunglasses in my house. I don't even want to see them on top of your head or on your hat.' I'd be like, 'That's a stupid ass rule, but it's your house.' I'd respect that. I would honor that. Or I would just never come to your house again. There's two easy ways around this. But if I say, 'Don't vape in my car, please,' just say, 'Cool, I won't vape in your car.' You could have stopped, said, 'It's walk around the park. I want to go vape my pen so I can get stoned because I can't live to be around you people for 20 goddamn minutes without getting stoned.' What the hell? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I was like, what it is. So he's all pissy and blah, blah. He's all mouthy and crap, getting all lippy. And I said, I kind of looked at the vape pen thing a lot like the whole, tailgating. When we're out in North Carolina and you were tailgating people and you're freaking your daughter out. I said, stop tailgating. And you're like, 'I'll show you tailgating.' Just that whole trying to be like a bully type thing here. And then I said, when you did it again, I said, 'Pull over, let me out, we'll walk home.' What the hell?" He goes, I should have made you guys walk home." And I'm like, "Well, that's cool." I would have happily rented a car and stuff, and I would have never assisted you again in life. You can't leave me in North Carolina. You can't leave me in a different state and expect me just to continue being your friend. So he's like, "I know who I am. I'm selfish and I'm blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "Okay, have a great night, man." I was there stuff and I go walking. I was there like, "Hey man, have a good evening." He was there stuff. He goes, "What are you so happy about?" And I'm like, "It's a beautiful time of year. It's gorgeous weather. I'm a happy person." And he's all mad about it, blah, blah, whatever. So he went off and pouted. Yeah, I fucked up that night. And I could have handled a little better. But dude, just don't vape in my damn car. Come on, man. It's not goddamn much. So went ahead, we headed back. We actually went and looked at some more lights ourselves, ran through the motel thing. It's a motel light thing. It's just, unfortunately, it's like jam-packed full of people, and they kind of have you go in the wrong way and come out. It should go. It is what it is. But so we're basically chill out there. We had a good time. Basically got back home, and I apologized to my wife for the shit. I'm like, I'm not asking that much. I'm not vaping my car. I'm like, it's not that much. She goes, no, 100%. She goes, I don't even vape my car either. So it is what it is. So we chilled out. We got back here to the house. Ended up, she had some shrimp left over from work. I ended up eating some Lay's potato chips, like the fake Pringles. Stackers. I think, yeah, Stackers. And basically watched some more TV. Ended up watching the holiday movies that made us. So it's basically the toys that made us, the movies that made us, the whatever stuff, the little documentary series. Awesome show. And it was all about Elf. And I was like, it was a cool documentary, a lot of fun. So we watched it. Headed outside to have myself a beautiful cigar on this gorgeous weather day, which we couldn't take the motorcycle, by the way. To Ormond, we were going to take the motorcycle up, but we couldn't take it up and then take his car around because it's going to be so cold. We get frost by the way home. It's supposed to be cold coming in. It was 75 degrees coming home. 75 and 77 degrees all the way home. So we had a good laugh about that. But I got here, so looking forward to having a cigar all day. Like, beautiful weather, best weather I've ever had in like months. Gorgeous day, absolutely perfect. Nice little breeze. Walk out, get my stuff set up, and wind comes through like hell. Like, I took my lights down, my Christmas lights down. It's how, not the Christmas lights, so it's Edison lights I put up. Took them down because it's how hard the wind was blowing. Like, shit's blowing, it knocked over tables and stuff out here. So I was like, well, I'm out. So we headed back inside instead and watched some more. That's what we ended up watching, Elf instead, the documentary of Elf. So ended up watching it and basically chilled out for the evening. So headed to bed and called it a night. That's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.